But a big part of the suffering that I experienced growing up was to do with um well, I'm an older sibling. I'm the oldest. I have one younger brother, and I'm the oldest cousin of like all my. I'm the I'm the eldest and the most dysfunctional. And I've been to rehab like 3 times. Like I'm um I'm the mess of the family and also like the oldest.
Mm,
And my it would have been different, I think, if my dad had a job in, let's say, like the military, and we moved with him, and I had like a mother at home who
mm.
was there. And it wasn't that, it was that my mother moved for her job. My dad did not want to move with us, so he stayed in Kenya. And so,
Oh, that's another layer.
yeah, that was a massive part of it, to be honest. That was maybe, yeah, maybe it's not even accurate to say like we moved around a lot and that's what the trauma was. It wasn't really. It was just that um I there was a complete like dearth and lack of like male leadership in my home and in my life. And I actually think that's a huge deal. And then there was this interesting moment actually in the conversation we had with Christian Baxter where um I said some I was going through the trajectory of becoming Christian and said something about how it was kind of like, yeah, at that point I had started talking to Autumn and I just did what he told me to,
Mm,
and that was what I should have done. And then they both kind of acknowledged, oh yeah, there's this cultural voice that's telling me that that's patriarchal or there's
yeah,
something wrong with that. And the thought I had was, yeah, exactly. Like it's patriarchal, exactly. Because that's how it should be, I think. And I think that we've gotten so, and I don't mean to, like I don't want to say something inappropriate for the internet, but I think that this is something that we don't ever talk about
yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
That patriarchal isn't a bad word.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually an important construct that we need to get back to at least being able to talk about. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
important. And in the absence of a kind of patriarchal construct or like patriarchal leadership, we suffer, and like especially like young women
Hmm.
really really do suffer. And I felt that I spoke a bit about it in the email I sent you, but like it's not um it's not a small thing. It's like a
Yeah,
really big deal.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
sorry.
interesting. No, no, it's fine. Because just from a, let's say we sort of self-transcend here, and why would patriarchal structures have developed in the world if they were completely nonsensical?
Yeah.
And the argument given is that, well, because men basically brutalized everyone. Okay, well, I'm sure some men did, but you have to also ask, but could that actually account for all of the patriarchal structures that we have seen in most of the world for most of human history? There might be something else to it. And it's interesting too, your story. I have a friend who's also, he was born in the United States, but his parents were both um, Kenyan immigrants to the United States. And, listening to your story and thinking about elements of his story, Um, Either there's a layer there too in terms of the parents splitting up, and I would imagine what that he's a man and you're a woman, what that does to the two, you know, the man being, and it's often the case that the kids go with the woman. I mean, it's funny. On one hand, we have all of this condemnation for the patriarchy, but then, oh yeah, but the kid should go with the mom. And it's like, why is that thought automatic and the other
Yeah.
thought is, um, forbidden? So they're really interesting questions. It's also the case that there are also reasons why men would resist the patriarchy because
Mm,
it's a lot of people who have no responsibility think that decision making, boy, that must be wonderful to make all the decisions until you have to
mhm.
make all the decisions. And then you feel the weight of that responsibility and you begin to recognize that no, whenever anything goes wrong, it's your fault. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I'd sure love to be able to share the blame with others. So that's really interesting. That's really interesting.